Welcome to UVC Chronicles, an initiative of UVC Graduates Association. I'm Vagisan from Mechanical Third Year, and we are back with a brand new episode. Today's guest is Mr. Yogesha Suresh from the batch of 2011. Let's hear a brief introduction from himself.
Thanks, Vagishan. As Vagishan said, I'm from 2011 batch of computer science from UVC. So last year I finished my master's in computer science at TU Kaiserslautern. So between 2011 and now, I've worked for SAP Labs India for about 4.5 years. Then I worked for Informatica for 2 years, and since last year again I'm working for SAP Labs in Potsdam, Germany. So yeah, that's about.
So you're telling us that you just finished your master's in Kaiserslautern, University of Kaiserslautern, right? It would be really great to know from you about the higher studies opportunities in Germany, like from your perspective, since you have already completed it.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of giving you a different perspective, I would say that the master's studies or in any studies per se in Germany is quite different from what we kind of experience in India. Just to give you a clear-cut demarcation, I'd say in India, most of the courses that we take are basically fixed. Like over the course of our engineering studies, we have 8 semesters, and there are fixed number of subjects. But in Germany, it's completely different. So you are supposed to finish 120 credits to complete your master's. It's pretty much similar for bachelor studies also. It's 90 credits, and you have a choice of number of semesters that you can finish it in. So you are not bound to finishing it in like 6 semesters or 8 semesters. Um, Basically, every semester is approximately counted as 300 hours of work. So in that 300 hours of work, how much ever credits you can finish, that much will be credited to you. And once you finish all the 120 credits, you are granted your degree. However, there is an upper limit. So for a master studies, you can't take more than 8 semesters to finish your credits. Otherwise, you'll be considered ineligible and you would not complete your studies that way. But when you plan well, like in India, we take about 4 semesters for master studies. If you really plan well, you can finish it within 4 to 5 semesters in Germany also. But it'll take a little bit of hectic work schedule for you to finish. And other than that, the 120 credits basically comprises of several courses. Most of the courses which we study in India, when you compare, it is about 4 credits here. But there are elaborate courses, like for example, the courses where we have parts in our bachelor studies, like compiler design, etc. So those subjects would be given about 8 credits. So you can choose which credits you want to take in a semester based on the university's holdings that these are the courses offered this semester, out of which you can choose the relevant courses. You can sit in the class. You're not bound to take exams or anything. So once you feel confident and you have gained eligibility by finishing the assignments, etc., then you register for the examination. And once you register for the examination and finish, then you will be graded, and those credits will be yours. So apart from this, for the technical courses, you have to do one project minimal, which gives you 8 credits, and minimal one seminar, which is basically studying a set of research papers and documenting them in a neat summary and under the guidance of a professor, of course. That will fetch you about 4 credits. And as a capstone, you have to do a master thesis, which basically either is a completely new idea that you work on for 30 credits, or extension of an existing idea or an improvement of existing research work. So it could be counted as beginning of PhD studies per se. But yeah, that's what it prepares you to. So that spreads over about 6 months completely. So basically researching, making the proof of concept, and then documenting it and presenting it, which is called as defending your thesis at the end. So once you finish this, you basically gain your master's. So um, and there is no separate lab exams and theory exams as such. The usual regular weekly assignments cover the programming part of it for the computer science student at least. So it's similar. Practical assignments are given in any course that you would want to study in Germany. So that way, it's kind of distinct from what we do in India, where we have theory exam completely separated from the lab exams, which just cover same set of problems year over year. Here the courses evolve every year, and even if I finish like this year, somebody taking the same course next year would not have the um, same set of assignments or anything. So that way, it's continuously evolving. Mm, so basically, every course is designed and crafted by professors themselves, and they don't blindly follow syllabus from the textbook. So they usually refer to multiple resources and mostly research papers, which are the latest work in that area. And hence, basically, yeah, what we see in Indian syllabus organization, which is mostly following a particular textbook or two, which is not seen here. And whenever you start your study, you could be sure of learning the latest in your study area and during those years. So, yeah, I'd say these are the clear demarcations between Indian higher studies and higher studies in Germany, at least to my understanding.
Thank you for that very detailed and insightful look into the German education system. Now, I'm pretty sure many of our listeners would be interested in pursuing higher studies in Germany. What would you like to tell them? Like, how and when do they start their preparations? And like, what did you do to get into your colleges and all that?
Okay, so basically, considering that we are talking to the engineering students, so there are very specifically so-called technical universities in Germany. So those would be the most relevant ones for somebody wanting to pursue higher studies in Germany. And out of them also, then again, they recognize 9 universities as the top universities. They are called TU9. So you can look it up on the internet and you will know which are the top universities according to the German government itself. And so basically, even other universities like University of Heidelberg or University of Berlin offer some courses, but most of these universities would offer the courses, even the master studies in German. So hence, it wouldn't be very suitable for somebody who would not have the German language knowledge that strongly and would just want to have a master's study in Germany. So they should prefer going to the technical universities. And technical universities basically it's as simple as you should have your TOEFL exam proving that your English is of the sufficient level. So for me, the TOEFL preparation took about a month. So in maximum of 3 months preparation, you can get a very good score at TOEFL. Other than that, you should have a good academic background, and your college or the university should be recognized by the university which is taking you in. So for us, UVC is recognized, and yeah, there is a website called as Anabin, where you can ANABIN, where you can check if your university is eligible, so that you can pursue your master's studies at a technical university. So that is true for most of the Indian universities, unless your university comes under has a very bad remark based on the past students or something. So which is not the case for UEC. So that is the bare minimum. And one very crucial thing for German universities is that if you would like to start your master's immediately after your bachelor's, that is kind of not very appreciated here in Germany. Even the native Germans here work for 2 to 3 years after their bachelor studies to pursue their masters. So I wouldn't say you take too many years of work experience, but at least 2 to 3 years of work experience is really appreciated, and that has some value when you apply for a German university. So basically, yeah, work experience, the TOEFL exam, and you need to have a German A1 level certificate at least, even though you're taking an English course, course which is taught in English. So basically, this Goethe school offers a certificate A1 exam every 3 months, and they have 3 months course before that, which after which you can take the exam and you get your certificate. So basically, you can count 3 months of time for that. And most of these technical universities have both winter and summer courses. So the winter courses starts in October and the summer semester starts in April. You can join in either of the semesters. So for both of these, the process starts 5 to 6 months beforehand. So if you want to start in April, you should start look at universities application in during November and December. Same thing during June or July for the winter admissions. So and this is the duration where you would make the applications, and the application would require original hard copies to be sent. So you should have sufficient transcripts from your universities collected. So based on the number of universities you want to apply for, every university would require a original set of transcripts. So which has to be sent by post most of the times. So hence, yeah, so you should have sufficient transcripts. Other than that, yeah, other than that, basically you have to prove that you have sufficient money to survive here. So currently it's about 10 lakhs worth Indian rupees, which you should transfer to a German bank and prove that you have sufficient funding for your studies. And then, yeah, the visa process generally, but to get the visa appointment, you need to wait for like 1 to 2 months, and then once you have the appointment, within 1 month you get your visa. So this is the time you should plan. To get the visa, the very minimal thing is that you need to have a university admission, of course. So the university would tell you the result of the application in 3 to 4 weeks. So hence, basically, it's 1 year of work, I would say. Because in the beginning, first half of the year, if you are done with your TOEFL and Goethe German exams, then you start applying for the universities. Once you have the admission, you make applications for visa, and once you get the visa, you can just move to Germany and yeah, start your studies. One point I would like to highlight here is that the most of the German universities, except for one or two states in Baden-Württemberg and Bavaria, they charge course fees of like 1,500 euros per year. But other than that, all the universities, there is no tuition fee. You would only pay for what is called a semester ticket, about 200 to 300 euros per month, which would cover your public transport card also. So hence, you're basically paying for the public transport pass and not really to the university. So hence, your education is pretty much free. But the expenses, if I have to talk about in any, even if you are staying in a bigger city with your hostel and other fees, it would cost up to 500 to 600 euros, at max 750 euros, as calculated by the government itself. So if you have deposited 10 lakh here, that should suffice for 2 years of your studies. Having said that, you can also basically work for 20 hours a week as a work student or a mini job, which could be technical, non-technical, or anything, which where you would earn over and above 800 euros, and basically you can complete your education completely free. Just for the visa proving, you will have to deposit that 10 lakh, and yeah, you don't have to really spend it if you are diligent and yeah, you do a mini job during your studies, you can basically finish it for free. So yeah, that's about the preparation and how you would apply for a German university.
Now, one of the most anticipated questions from aspiring students will be about career opportunities and the compensations offered. You already told us about how the tuition fees are almost free and we'll have to only pay for our living and all that. So, like, can you shed some more light on like the scholarships that will be offered and similar things?
Every university in Germany has something called as Deutschland Stipendium. So basically, pretty much 1 or 2% of students in a particular class would be eligible for that. So that would be 300 euros per month, of which half will be paid by your university and half will be by a sponsor. So the application process is quite simple. You just have to show the scores that you have achieved in certain number of courses and your corporate social responsibility, and you're into some sports or cultural activities. So basically showing that you're a holistic student and you're not just a study buff would kind of make you eligible for it. And this 1% and 2% is minimum, and sometimes if there are very good students through the whole class, most of the class even gets the scholarship. This 300 euros is basically pretty much sufficient to at least cover your health insurance and your rent at least. And yeah, so that's the basic stipendium that you get. And then there is called something called as Darts Tibet, which would be about 450 euros per semester. This is given based on your performance at the university itself. So you are eligible to apply only if you have a grade above a certain threshold, which is decided every year. But however, the application is open every year and you can really make an application. So these are the main scholarships that I'm aware of, which are Germany wide. And then universities have their own funding scholarships or grants based on the professors' setup. They would offer certain special scholarships for performance in special some courses, etc. But they're not the regular ones. But these two, if you are eligible and get, basically you are making sufficient scholarships for your studies. And other question was about the compensations and career opportunities. So in Germany, as everybody knows, it's automobile hub. So even today, for the mechanical engineering students, the opportunities are really high, and there are really lucrative opportunities for software, electronics, and other streams. There are jobs, there are very interesting jobs, but the quantity in terms of the number of jobs available, it's much lesser compared to in India. In terms of compensation, very simply put, if you're in a really so-called open dream companies, etc., whatever salary you make after the taxes is something is pretty much similar to what you would save after the taxes here in Germany. So in terms of sheer money, it wouldn't be very rewarding. But in terms of basically the lifestyle and work-life balance, or um, just an opportunity to work with German colleagues and the way they think, if you are into exploring those aspects, it would be rewarding. But if you compare to the salaries in US or Canada, Germany is not very rewarding in terms of salary, but definitely in terms of opportunities, it's really interesting. And from most of what I have seen, you would never do boring work, and it would be always innovative. And more than the corporate companies, there are several research institutes like Fraunhofer Institute or Max Planck Institute or DFKI and of the like. So these basically are the government-funded research institutes where you could join as a researcher, which is very meager number of opportunities are available in India. Unless you join a government organization like ISRO or DRDO, you wouldn't get to be a pure researcher. You would mostly be yeah, development or coder or engineer or the sort. But if you want to be a pure researcher, those opportunities are really much more than any other country in the world for Germany. So if you are interested in those areas, definitely there are huge number of opportunities. But for just being an engineer, India, specifically Bangalore, has a lot more opportunities. But yeah, you because the studies here is free, you can choose to complete your studies here and then think of moving back to India also. So yeah, that would be my view on that question.
Apart from your own experience in UVC, you would have counterparts from other colleges. Now you have also experienced studies and students' behavior in foreign universities, right? So like keeping that all this in mind, can you like share some fundamental and basic changes the students in UVC should work on? And also how alumni could help the students in these matters?
Well, to simply put, actually, the engineering students should try to be more engineers than just mug up and finish their exams and forget the subjects. And yeah, what I have seen even when I was a student in UEC is basically we pretty much ignore the basics. And just to take an example of engineering mathematics subjects, we don't really care about it. I mean, at least most of the students I've seen not caring about it after the exams. Um, but in terms of the perspective change, what I would suggest is, so whatever subjects that are put in, so well, they are not as good and application oriented as in Germany, but at least the subject and the content, and these days with the MOOC courses or several other online websites and resources, you have all the opportunity to explore a particular subject. So don't just try to learn for the sake of the exam. So once you study a subject, try to internalize it and try to figure out how it will be relevant. And I mean, from the plain look, it would look like engineering mathematics. You wouldn't ever use it. So once you know a programming language, you can be a programmer and forget all about it. Yeah, well, I mean, it's true in certain sense, but if you really dig deeper, you would find out that several technologies like machine learning or signal processing or etc. use engineering mathematics very deeply. And um, being an engineer, it's kind of your duty to really know how these mathematical concepts are applied there. Uh, of course, the exams are not going to ask you those questions, but knowing them, internalizing them will go along uh, um a longer way with you through your career, and will help you in the ways you wouldn't realize. So, um basically, my perspective is that when the topic gets very complex, we try to simplify it and only keep the summary with us, and then just write it down in the exam, and you get good marks and all is done. But if you try to repeatedly attempt at understanding the complexity of a concept, basically you're exercising your brain, and this exercise basically sharpens your intellect, and basically you can learn anything. And you will many Miyagi tasks will be even more simpler than what you would the amount of time you would take. So basically this perspective of putting in the hard work now to make the life or the career easy is something which I would suggest the students to really have in mind, and just sit and think, and don't just try to read and mug up and make notes out of what you read and just write it in the exam. So that is the perspective I would say you should keep from what I have looked at my peers at the university, etc. So, and here what I see mostly people doing is that they're not interested in everything that they're studying, but whatever they're interested in, they try to explore it with a certain amount of passion. So that passion towards at least what you're interested in. I mean, if you're studying engineering, you would be interested in one or two areas at least. So you should really explore those aspects. For the question of how alumni could help here is basically see, unless you show that what is needed to you or what is lacking, nobody can help you. So basically, what alumni of UVC have are is basically so many years of experience and learning by their mistakes. So if you want to and you use up that knowledge and don't make those same mistakes and try to do different mistakes as part of your learning. Basically, you have to have an urge to learn something and form groups within the university, within the class, within your friends group, discuss about a certain topic. If you don't understand something, reach out to the organizations like UVC, Vision UVC or UVCGA, and get in touch with the alumni over LinkedIn or any other. There are several means of reaching out to the alumni. If you just think that they can help you out with that area, so if not them directly being able to help, they would point you to the right people. So basically, this is how I would say the alumni and student interaction could go further when there is really an urge amongst the students to learn more, learn better, and yeah, keep the knowledge sustained for their rest of their career.
That was very well said. This was a very insightful session for me and also for everyone else tuning in. We are very grateful that you could join us today. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Vagesh, and all the best to all the students. Thank you. Bye.